Good evening. Hello. How was your day? Very special meeting. The great artist for the Coffeetalk with us, Maria Khoreva. She's here. The most young first soloist of Mariinsky Theater. Just from the graduation, from the first season, she already has greatest success. What is the secret? Now I hope we will know it from today.
Well, first of all, it's very nice to see all of you guys here, and it's a pleasure to be having this conversation with you. And thanks for coming. Thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you for you. We was in your performance in the Nutcracker just before yesterday. How it was?
Great. Amazing.
Amazing, yes, just wonderful, yes. We liked it a lot. And of course, for us, it's very interesting, where did it start, everything? Let's start from the start. How did you get to the ballet?
Well, it was actually a very interesting. First of all, I wanted to say apologies for my voice because I'm a little bit sick and I was actually dancing a little bit sick. So, yeah, just a heads up for you guys. But it was a pretty interesting story that I quite like to tell sometimes. That I was doing rhythmic gymnastics for 7 years before I started doing ballet, and just one day after I won some competition, some like Russian competition of rhythmic gymnastics, and I was 10, and we were walking around. It was summer, as I remember it, and we were just walking with my family, my mother, father, and sister, and we were walking past Vaganova Academy. It's in the center of St. Petersburg, and we saw that this paper that the audition is starting in a couple of days, and it was on the 1st of June, and we decided why not to try. This idea was born in our heads that we needed, maybe
suddenly,
needed.
No?
Yeah, quite
just with
suddenly.
no preparation. I remember myself, I wanted to do a dance from 2 years old and go in there, but like this, it's very interesting.
Yeah, but ballet was kind of always around in our family. I visited my first ballet performance when I was 3, and it was Nutcracker in Mariinsky Theater because we were living opposite Mariinsky Theater, very, very close, and we were visiting ballet from time to time quite often. And so, yeah, the idea was kind of around, but it was born quite suddenly.
Yes. Knowing your family, it's not a surprise for me because in there, you everything about the classical music. They know what is your taste are, you know.
Yeah, well, I'm very lucky to be born in this very cultural family, as I think it is, and yeah, classical music, classical art, ballet, and yeah, like cultural atmosphere was always in our house, and my parents taught me the beginnings of music, and I remember we were, again, walking a lot with my dad, just singing some musical notes and like then playing the piano. Then I started playing piano. Then I started listening to the music, and it was, yeah, the whole process.
Very nice. And tell us, how was the Vaganova Academy? You felt it from the start till the end, no?
Oh, well, yeah, it's an amazing experience, definitely, and I would probably say that I didn't feel it right from the start. I was quite not really conscious in what I was doing for like the first 4 years at the Vaganova Academy. So I was just following what they were telling me and just doing it because I was told to for the first couple of years, and then suddenly something happened, and again, after several talks with my parents, I realized that I was just doing something wrong, and I was just not making enough efforts. And then I started stretching again because after I was done with rhythmic gymnastics, I stopped. Okay, better like that?
Yeah.
Is it better?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, I think it was the fourth grade, that I felt like I needed to make more efforts, and as I was telling, after finishing with rhythmic gymnastic, I stopped stretching. I stopped improving improving my body abilities and improving. And I was just told by some dancers that after rhythmic gymnastics, ballet would be boring and it would be not as interesting and not as dynamic. So I was not thinking enough, I think. And then after the 4th grade, I was getting the same mark for the final year exams for 4 years. So I got quite a high mark on the 1st grade, and then I kept getting the same mark and I wasn't improving, so I realized for myself that I needed to.
What did you learn from it, from this experience?
Yeah, I learned that you have to do everything on your own, and it's not enough that teachers tell you that you have to do that and you have to do this. You have to make your own steps for improving. And yeah, so after that, I think I remember Vaganova Academy after that, so I don't really remember much, which is very weird because I was like 10, 11, 10, I was 14 by that time, and I don't really remember a lot of this experience because I was not conscious enough. But I remember it quite well after the 5th grade.
And so after the 5th grade, what the most brightest memories from the academy you have?
Well, I think the first life-changing experience was being a part of Snowflake's corps for Nutcracker performances as Vaganova production, because Vaganova dances at the Mariinsky Theater, the production of full Nutcracker. And I really remember that dancing Snowflake's corps was really helpful for me, and it kind of taught me to jump more actively, or I don't know, whatever. So yes, and then of course participating in the graduation performances and dancing some variations, and I've been lucky to have a lot of interesting roles. For example, I remember Classical Symphony by Lavrovsky. It was a very interesting piece, and I was dancing the first and the second movement of this ballet piece, and it was quite challenging but very nice. And then the graduation year, the very beautiful production Suite en Blanc by Serge Lefar.
I think we saw it. I saw it somewhere.
The videos on YouTube,
Yes,
I think,
yes,
but
I
it's one of my all-time favorite ballets now, and it's kind of a pity that it's not at the Mariinsky at the moment. But I loved dancing it, and Pas de Quatre from Awakening of Flora, also very nice, very dull.
It's all of these productions you did inside of the academy, no?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And how it was, in which age you went out from the stage from Mariinsky? What age you was?
First performance at the Mariinsky Theater. It was quite funny because it was the 2nd grade, and
12 years old or something like this?
Yeah, yeah. And I was the dwarf in Shurale in this ballet about a forest and about a forest bird. The girl who evil spirit makes her a bird, so it's kind of a swan lake, but
one of the best for me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I was a very funny little dwarf in it, and it was very funny because we had these giant masks over our heads, and I could barely see like a thing through this mask, and I could barely see where I was walking, and it was, but seeing Shirley after some years from after I danced it in the 2nd grade, these dwarfs are not supposed to see anything. They're just supposed to be very funny and very clumsy. Mm-hmm. But at that point, it was so, I needed to be right. I needed to go the right direction. So it was very...
stressful?
Yeah, very stressful. But it was interesting.
Did you have any time in your life, did you ever experience the fear of stage? I mean, really, before to come to the stage?
Yeah. Well, I think before some of the challenging moves and some of the challenging variations,
What are you doing
sometimes,
to calm yourself?
Well, I have no choice. I just have to go and dance because, yeah, who else? I'm the dancer who is supposed to be performing this role, and you just have to concentrate. And the thing that helps me the most to calm down the nerves is to really just concentrate on each step. So not to really dramatize the whole variation experience, but to really concentrate on step by step. Not to see the whole picture, but to concentrate on the little things, and then to really think about them. And then not only it calms me down, but it also improves the whole
Good advice.
performance, I think, yeah.
And when you came, because it's your second year in the Mariinsky Theater, after we'll speak of all the parties that you and roles that you danced already, but what was the difference between the school and the theater? I mean, when you just came to the theater, because you already danced on the stage and you was already there, so how it was?
It's a drastic difference between school and theater, obviously, and it's a whole, it's different team of people, obviously, and in the theater it's adults, it's grown-ups, it's grown-up people who are responsible for their own doings, and at the academy the teachers are most of all responsible for the young dancers.
So
but
the responsibility is much bigger, no? It's
much bigger. Yeah, and I think at the Vaganova, kids, students rehearse a lot more than at the theater. So, for example, for the Nutcracker, we would be rehearsing for several months, just for one production, and we would be having countless rehearsals just to polish every detail. But in the theater, you can barely have, like, if you've danced this role already, it's normal to be having 4 rehearsals before, like, Midori in Corsair or... Yeah.
You just told me that in 8th already you have Corsair, no?
Yeah, but after my debut in Raimonda, for example, I had... Raimonda was on 18th, and then I had 19th, 20th, 21st, and 22nd to rehearse Corsair. And then 23rd was Corsair, so it's normal. But
it's not so normal. It does not seem so normal.
It takes some time to get used to, definitely.
Big theater, they are changing repertoire very constantly. There is not just more than 3 performances, no, one by one, like 3 Nutcrackers, and already they change, no?
More than 3. Yeah.
Not more than 3, so... And always different casts. So you are dancing one Nutcracker, now after you need to dance already Corsair, after Nutcracker, after Raimonda, after debut Sleeping Beauty, the next, no?
Yeah.
We'll be waiting for that. And now I will stop you for a moment. No, sorry, we have a question here. Veronica. Yes, please.
Были ли у вас роли, которые вам было сложно или исполнить технически, или по характеру? И как вы с этим справлялись?
If she has sometimes some roles that it was difficult for her for character and or technically, and how she challenged it?
Well, definitely. I would say that every role is quite challenging in its own way, and of course we have to find it's not necessarily that in the process of rehearsing the role that it's difficult to find the character, or it's difficult to cope with the technical aspects, but the role is a constant growth, I think, and I hope to be growing in every role. So, for example, I would sometimes go on stage and I would be not satisfied with the end result, and the next performance I would like to improve on it. So I'm not satisfied with any of my performances and I want to grow. So I definitely have challenges all the time, I would say. So yeah, but one of the most challenging roles for me was Raimonda recently, because it's so versatile and you have to find the right character for every right mood for every variation. So yeah, I don't know.
Okay, let's stay in Raimonda and we will be waiting to seeing you. And now we will present here. For a moment I will leave the...
Her shows are perfect, by the way. She has perfect shows every time, so I don't know what she's talking about, quite frankly.
Xander Parish,
hey.
Thank you very much.
Hey. Nice to meet you. Hey.
Yes, so we was just starting from the... from the start.
I guess sounds a good place to start from, I'd say.
You can have this
Thank
one.
you.
So
Great. Hi, guys.
Yeah, we was looking for how Maria, she came for the ballet, how was her, and it was very nice that you was a little late, because like with, you have completely different stories, and your one will be much more close to all our students' one, because there are 17 countries here.
Wow. Well
I mean, yeah, welcome to Russia now. And all of them, they are going for the different way, no? Yeah. So it looks like yours one, hopefully for somebody.
Sure, similar, definitely.
Yes, and tell us a little bit how did you start and how did you came for it?
Okay, so actually I'm going to celebrate 10 years in Russia very soon. Next week, actually, it'll be my 10th anniversary of coming to Russia, which is hard to imagine. I never thought I'd be here 10 years when I first came here. It's quite an adventure. But yeah, so basically how it worked out, I was working in the Royal Ballet Company in London. After school in Royal Ballet School, I joined the Royal Ballet Company as a quarter ballet member. I was there for 4.5 years. During my 3rd season, we had a ballet master from Russia come over to Royal Opera House and teach class for 2 weeks. And this guy, I didn't know who he was. He was just a ballet master. He was a very, very good teacher, and I loved his classes. And it worked out one day, I just asked him if he would give me some one-on-one teaching, because I was hungry, I was young, I was like, come on, I want to work. And this guy gave really great classes, and he was really nice to me, gave me a lot of help. Before he left England, he gave me just half an hour of his time, one-on-one. And I thought that was amazing, because, you know, one-on-one teaching is always very, very valuable. And 6 months later, that guy became director of Mariinsky Ballet and offered me a job, bizarrely enough. So it was Yuri, yeah, our current boss. So, I mean, that was my Cinderella story. I came here. Yeah, that's how I came here anyway, it's true, yeah. Yes.
Yes. It's very nice, because how did you, I mean, you was like 4 years, 5 years, no, in the Royal Ballet, in Corps de Ballet.
Yeah,
nobody trusted. I mean, it's impossible.
Yeah, it was a difficult time. I mean, I have great respect for any quarter ballet dancer these days, because I was there a long time. I know how it works. Even when I came here, I was still doing quarter ballet work for my first 3 years. So I was in the quarter ballet 7 years in total, and it's a long time to do quarter ballet work. It's heavy, it's hard, you know, you've got a lot to learn. If you make a mistake, it's very noticeable. If you're a soloist, you can do anything you want, and they can't notice, like, basically. So it's easier in some respects. But to be in the quarter ballet, particularly as a young, tall guy in London, quarter ballet meant standing at the back and wearing high heels. Yeah. And that's never a good idea for a guy, so,
here
in my opinion.
Perfectly well.
Thanks.
So much.
Thank you, very kind. I'm very happy here.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And how was the moving? I mean, you moved here. How was the Russia for the first time? Because they are meeting Russia for the first time also.
How I felt when I arrived in that case, right?
Winter also, no?
Yeah, but when I came here, it was January 2010, so exactly 10 years ago. But that winter, it was a very cold winter. We had, the day I arrived here, it was minus 15 Celsius, and that was a warm day.
Today we have
that was a warm
+5,
day.
So.
Yeah, and the snow was maybe up to my thigh. It was that deep. Maybe were you live there? Yeah, you were. Okay, I'm joking. She's young.
She was 9 years old.
You were 9 years old.
At 10, we know it already.
Baby. So yeah, basically it was a really proper winter, and I mean, as a Brit, we don't really get cold weather in England very much. I mean, if it gets -2, -3, and it snows, it's catastrophe. Like we'd say, it's like the school's closed, trains
like
don't work.
More England, no?
Yeah, it's like London now. I'm very comfortable. It's very nice.
For us, we need snow, but for you, it's okay.
But I want the snow now. It's the Russian heart, you know.
Yes, you have. Yes. Yeah. I saw one interview with you, very nice, about Russian culture and everything that. It looks like you really, really feel it.
Yeah, I spent a third of my life in Russia now, you know?
Yeah. Did you like it from the start?
If I'm honest, not particularly. When I first arrived, I found it very difficult. The culture, the language, everything. I couldn't speak, I didn't know where to go, I didn't know what to do. Settling in was hard, people were unfriendly and cold to me, but that's just the way it was. I was a foreigner in a very traditional ballet company, and that's always hard. You know? I was one of the first foreigners, so it was I was like an explorer in the jungle. That's how I saw myself.
Yes, yes. After you, it was already some foreigners start to come with Yuri Fateyev also. Yeah?
Foreigners in the company. I say a lot. We have maybe 12 out of 240 dancers or something. So it's
lucky person.
yeah, we're very lucky. I mean, I count myself very, very, very blessed to be in this company.
Why?
Because as a foreigner to come and join one of Russia's crown jewels.
Yes.
The Mariinsky Ballet is one of Russia's crown jewels, and to be a part of that culture, a part of that history,
And
walking
repertory.
in repertory, and to be in the studios, in the theatre, on the stage, where these great ballets were created is something else. I'm sure you feel the same way. It's like the history is tangible. You can feel it on the stage, especially on the historic stage. You go on stage and there's this. It's almost you can almost touch it. It's right there. You can feel it.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's beautiful that after 10 years you still feel the same. Hope you the same. You will feel the same way in 10 years. Yes. No. It's now she's young. In 10 years. Let's see. And do you have something still what is difficult for you here?
Difficult. I mean, I'm still learning the language. That's always hard. I mean, of course. Oh my goodness, my grammar's terrible.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
It is. You're very nice. But
You
I'm
don't
learning.
need to write your belly dance.
Thank goodness. Cursive is not my thing.
Very good. And do you have some questions, or I will follow? Yeah, I will go forward. Okay. So, and what was your debut in the Mariinsky Theater as a principal?
As a principal, I only became principal a year and a half ago. It was 2 years ago. 2.5 years ago. Sorry, time goes so quick.
17, no?
Yeah, 2017 in the summer. My first role the following season when I got back, I think it was Swan Lake. I can't even remember, but I've done it already. I mean, the thing is, it's hard to explain. In Royal Ballet compared to Mariinsky Ballet, basically in Royal, you don't dance the roles until you've got the rank. Mm-hmm. In Mariinsky, you dance all the roles and then attain the rank, usually.
Yes.
So I danced basically everything before I became a soloist, even.
Mm-hmm.
I danced Swan Lake, Giselle, Sylvia, Apollo, Scheherazade, everything before I became even a second soloist. So then once I'd done all those things, I guess my director thought I'd earned my stripes and gave me the title of soloist. And then I had more stuff to learn. What did you have to learn? I don't know, diamonds and Balanchine stuff, and then eventually became principal. But yeah, I can't remember what my first role was after I became principal, to be honest. Sorry.
No worries. No, it's okay. And the feelings. Let's connect you a little bit, because Maria first part in the Mariinsky stage as an artist, because before she danced a lot, of course. No, also, it was Apollo, no?
Yeah.
And you danced together.
Yeah.
No?
One of my favourite ballets still.
Yes.
And with Masha, my complete favourite. I mean,
Yeah.
We're gonna
Fantastic.
do it again.
yeah, we have it coming up soon again.
Yes. When?
Hopefully.
6th of March.
6th of March.
Yeah.
6th of March.
Buy your plane tickets.
Very nice. Tell us a little bit about this, about your experience, how it was to prepare already with Xander Parish.
Story about me curtsying.
Oh my god, this is so funny. Okay, so Masha was like the star of the Vaganova Academy. Everyone knew who Masha was. Marichok, of course, we all knew Marichok. And Yuri, our director, told me one day in the summer of like 2 years ago, right? 2 years ago? Yeah, 2 years ago. Almost. A year and a half, 2 years ago. He told me, I've got this great idea. There's this amazing girl in school called Maria Khoreva. I was like, yeah, I've heard about her. And he was like, I want her to come and dance Apollo with you. I was like, great. So then I was like, when do we start? He was like, yeah, we're going to start rehearsing next week. I was like, okay, terrific. So I came to the studio, and there were these 3 young girls. Also, there was Masha, 2 other girls from Vaganova as well. And I came in, and they literally curtsied to me. I was like, guys, we're going to dance together. Don't curtsy at me. And for the next 2 weeks, every day you guys curtsied. And I was like, stop curtsying at me. I'm serious. We're going to be colleagues. We're going to like dance together. You can't curtsy at me. I feel like a granddad already. I was like, don't do that. That's very funny. Then we started, and Masha's a super fast learner, and we clicked together really quickly. And she's super comfortable. I'm going to sing your praises.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So what do you like from the partner?
Everything. I mean, what's not to like? Masha's the perfect partner. She's got the best extensions, the best legs, the best. She can do it all herself. I just stand and look nice. She does everything. It's easy. I just stand behind you and hold you.
Yeah, but you sound perfect. Yeah.
That's important for a guy.
Let me know my part of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Yuri told you that you're gonna be partnering me for Apollo, but he never told me that I'll be rehearsing with Xander. So one day he enters. We started rehearsing with Yuri Apollo. I was alone with him in the studio at the Mariinsky, and we were rehearsing just the variations. And then one day, Xander just enters the rehearsal studio, and I'm like, what? Like, Mariinsky principal, Xander Parish? Ooh, are you serious? Yeah, but it was a lot of fun doing Apollo, and I remember having a lot of rehearsals. Yeah, we had like, a lot of rehearsals. Like 6 weeks or a month, no? A month? Was it a month? I mean, we started in like May.
We danced in July. Okay, usually in Mariinsky you get like 3 days to rehearse stuff. So we had 2 months. That's kind of unheard of, basically.
There was 3 girls, no? 3 girls.
Yeah, it was their debuts, so it was I had a lot of responsibility. Take care of these babies from the school.
From the babies, yes. It was like a nanny with the 3 babies.
I loved it. It was great fun. They were great.
Very nice.
Yeah, it was fun.
And Apollo team memories.
Yeah, because we toured as well. We went away to do Apollo in New York and in Spoleto and all over the place.
I think everybody saw it.
On Instagram, yeah.
Yes. And the nice story, no? Because just 18th you had a debut in Raimonda, and again together, no?
Yeah, your debut, Raimonda.
Yeah, but
Raimonda.
I was 19.
Yes, 19, but I mean now, it was the first one, and now is the last debut that you get. Now it was Raimonda, and together also. Yeah. What changed from that moment? She's not cursey already, no?
Thankfully not. Sometimes, I'm joking. No, Mash is like, I mean, in the past, she's only been in the company, what, a year and a half? Yeah. And she's become a star of the company already. I mean, it's very impressive. What you've managed to achieve in a year and a half is quite extraordinary. Like, most dancers don't achieve that in 20 years. In 1.5 years, she's already got, like, everything in order. But her and her coach, have you guys talked about your coach already? But Ella?
No,
She has an amazing teacher. Yeah. And these guys are an amazing... Yeah, Ella Tarasova. She was a former star of the Mariinsky Khoreva, and these guys are a great team. When I go and join their rehearsals, I just laugh because they're so highly tuned to each other. They understand everything they're talking about and every detail. Ella's like, "Niet, niet, niet, niet." I was like, and the tiniest details, like the finger, and then you're like, "Come on, it's already perfect." She's like, "Niet." It's really funny, but these guys are great. So that's why, I mean, it's a joint effort. Our coaches in the theatre do a huge amount of work for us, and we're always grateful to our teachers because without them we couldn't do anything, basically.
Who's your coach?
I work with Nikita Sheglov. He's a former, Sheglov. He's a former first soloist of the, Professor Dogan. Exactly, you know who he is. He's a terrific teacher, and he kicks me into shape, literally, usually. And
you had a lot of luck, no? So you passed from Lyudmila Kovaleva to the arms for Elvira Tarasova.
I feel extremely lucky, and just my mentors have been my everything. I cannot emphasize enough how they are helping me, and without them. Just recently, Elvira Gennadievna, my coach, went to Baden on tour with the Mariinsky, and I felt like I was lost because I didn't rehearse with her for a couple of days, and so we are really highly tuned together, and hopefully, and so I really try not to disappoint her, but sometimes it feels like that because it doesn't always work on stage. The corrections that she's telling me, I don't always remember about them, or it doesn't always work out to correct them, but I really try, and I'm very lucky because she really teaches me how to acquire this Leningrad, this St. Petersburg style of imperial Russian ballet, and this signature style of Mariinsky, hopefully.
Well, you're succeeding, so that's
Thank you.
You